Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today we are stripping away the canopy of the Amazon to reveal a secret that has been hiding in plain sight for over 1,000 years. We often think of the age of exploration as something from the past, men in pith helmets hacking through the jungle with machetes. But the greatest archaeological discovery of the 21st century didn't happen on a sweaty expedition in the Yucatan. It happened in a climate-controlled room, on a laptop, on page 16 of a Google search results page. We are talking about Valeriana, a lost Maya megalopolis that has just rewritten the history books. This isn't just a story about finding old rocks. It is a story about how modern technology, specifically LiDAR, is proving that our history is far more crowded, complex, and urban than we ever dared to imagine. Let's start with the discovery itself, because it completely overturns the romantic narrative of archaeology. Usually, we imagine an explorer battling heat, insects, and exhaustion to stumble upon a moss-covered temple. But in this case, the hero is Luke Thomas, a PhD student at Tulane University. He wasn't looking for gold or jade, he was looking for data. LiDAR data, to be specific. LiDAR stands for Light Detection and Ranging, and it is expensive to commission. It involves flying an aircraft over a region and firing billions of laser pulses at the ground to create a 3D map. Thomas couldn't afford a new survey, so he went hunting for existing ones. He found a survey from 2013, conducted not by archaeologists, but by environmental scientists and forestry engineers monitoring carbon emissions in Mexico's Campeche region. For a decade, this massive dataset sat on a server, ignored by historians. It was just a file for counting trees. But when Thomas applied archaeological processing techniques to it, stripping away the vegetation in a process called digital deforestation, he didn't see a random forest floor. He saw geometry, he saw right angles, he saw a ghost city the size of a modern capital. This city, which the team named Valeriana after a nearby freshwater lagoon, is a beast. To understand the scale, we have to look at the numbers. The survey revealed a settlement covering approximately 16.6 square kilometers. That is roughly 6.4 square miles. Within that area, the laser scans identified over 6,764 individual structures. Let that number sink in. Nearly 7,000 buildings. We aren't talking about a few scattered huts. We are talking about a density that suggests a population of 30 to 50,000 people at its peak between 750 and 850 CE. That is more people than currently live in that entire region today. So what does a lost megalopolis look like? Valeriana is anchored by two monumental precincts, separated by about 2 kilometers but linked by a continuous web of settlement. The larger of the two is a classic Maya political capital. It has enclosed plazas, broad causeways known as Sakbiob, and temple pyramids rising up to 15 meters or 50 feet into the air. Imagine standing there 1,000 years ago. You would be surrounded by stone titans, painted red, rising above a bustling, paved city center. The second precinct reveals the spiritual life of the city. The scans uncovered an E-group assemblage. This is a very specific architectural alignment used by the Maya to track the sun. It marks the solstices and equinoxes. This tells us that Valeriana wasn't just a place where people slept and ate. It was a center of high ceremonial importance, a place where the movement of the cosmos was observed and recorded. But what truly makes Valeriana a megalopolis isn't the temples, it's the infrastructure. You cannot support 50,000 people in a tropical environment without serious engineering. The city features a classic Mesoamerican ball court, indicating a vibrant cultural life, but more importantly, it features a massive dammed reservoir. The Maya were masters of hydraulics. In a region with porous limestone bedrock that sucks water away like a sponge, catching and storing rain was a matter of life and death. Perhaps the most intriguing find is a structure described as a curved amphitheater. This is rare in Maya architecture. We don't know exactly what it was for yet. Perhaps acoustic performances, perhaps specific ceremonies we have yet to understand. It is a mystery that only deepens the allure of the site. Now we need to talk about the technology that made this possible, because LiDAR is effectively the Hubble telescope of archaeology. It works on the principle of echolocation, like a bat. A sensor on a plane fires hundreds of thousands of laser pulses per second at the ground. Most of these pulses hit the leaves and branches of the jungle canopy. But, even in the densest rainforest, there are tiny gaps between the leaves. A small percentage of those laser beams travel all the way to the dirt and bounce back to the plane. By using software to delete the data points that represent trees, archaeologists are left with a bare earth model. Suddenly, the jungle vanishes. A hill that looks like a natural mound when you walk over it is revealed to be a square pyramid. A dip in the ground becomes an ancient canal. In Valeriana, the resolution was so sharp they could identify individual house platforms, the stone foundations where commoners built their wooden homes. This allowed the researchers to count the population not by guessing, but by literally counting the houses. This discovery shatters a myth that has persisted for a century, the myth of the empty tropics. For a long time, scholars argued that the Maya Lowlands couldn't support large urban populations because the soil was poor and the environment was harsh. They believed civilizations went there to die. Valeriana proves the exact opposite. The landscape wasn't empty, it was full. The density of settlement in the Valeriana survey was 55.3 structures per square kilometer. To put that in perspective, that is comparable to the density of modern, semi-urban environments. This was a garden city. The Maya had terraced the hillsides, managed the water flows, and built stone highways connecting rural hamlets to the urban cores. They had completely terraformed the jungle to feed a massive population. In fact, Luke Cole Thomas noted that they found this massive city right next to the area's only modern highway. People had been farming among the ruins for years, completely unaware that beneath their feet lay the second densest Maya site ever discovered. However, there is a dark side to this density. The architecture suggests Valeriana flourished during the Classic period, right before the famous Maya collapse around 900 CE. When we look at the map of Valeriana, we see a landscape that is completely maxed out. Every inch of arable land is terraced. Every drop of water is managed. There is no slack in the system. This offers a chilling context for the collapse. If you have 50,000 people relying on a hyper-optimized system, what happens when the climate shifts? We know that the 9th century brought severe droughts. Because the landscape was so full, the people of Valeriana had nowhere to go. Their neighbors were just as crowded. The environmental stress, combined with the rigidity of such a high-density system, likely led to a rapid and devastating unraveling. It is a lesson that resonates comfortably with our modern world of 8 billion people facing our own climate pressures. So what happens next? Will we see Indiana Jones-style excavations at Valeriana? Probably not. The site is too massive, and archaeology is expensive. Clearing the jungle and restoring nearly 7,000 buildings is cost-prohibitive. Valeriana will likely remain a digital city, explored primarily through screens and data. But this is just the beginning. The survey that found Valeriana covered only 122 square kilometers. The Maya Lowlands cover thousands. If a city the size of a capital can hide in a random dataset found on page 16 of Google, what else is out there? This discovery democratizes exploration. It suggests that the next great find might not be made by a professor with a grant, but by a student with an internet connection and a curious mind. Valeriana stands as a testament to human ingenuity. It reminds us that the Americas were not a sparsely populated wilderness before European arrival, but a bustling engineered landscape of millions. Today the monkeys still howl from the trees covering the Temple of the Sun in Valeriana. The roots still grip the stones of the ball court. But thanks to a laser beam and a student's curiosity, the ghost city has risen again. It challenges us to look closer at the world we think we know, proving that even in the 21st century, our planet still has the power to surprise us. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.